So here we are for yet another unboxing, and today we've got something a little bit smaller and hopefully something a little bit more affordable for you all out there as well, because in the last video the car was quite big and I know it was a bit expensive, and I did see the comments, a couple of people were whinging about it. So I've gone to the opposite end of the spectrum now, and I've reduced the size significantly and also the price. And hopefully, if you guys do pick one of these up using the links in the video description, you'll also get a 10% discount. You guys will be able to afford something like this, maybe for a present for someone, or maybe this could be your first RC. So we'll see what happens. Now, this is the BEZGAR. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's the HP161S. It's a 3S little 116 monster truck. It actually comes with a 3S battery as well, but we'll talk about all of that a little bit later on. What you get out of the box: the car fully assembled and ready to go. You get your radio, of course, you get some goodies here. There is a USB charger here for you to charge your battery, a little cross wrench and a little screwdriver. The screwdriver is to install the wheelie bar that comes separate. Also gives you the hardware and everything there. So you just got to mount that up on the back. They give you a couple of AA batteries for the radio. The radio is quite small, so it only requires 2. You also get a little like a postcard type thing for warranty, and you got phone numbers and websites and everything on there for you to go check out. And then of course there is the user manual as well, which is actually pretty good. I have to say, I've given this a bit of a flick through. It's got part numbers for everything, got exploded views on how to work on the car and everything. They got instructions on how the radio works, how to plug the battery, and the basic stuff that you sort of need a manual to be. It's all in color. It's really, really good. So make sure you hold on to that one. I think they did a good job with that. So moving on to the features, we're going to start off with the radio. It's a really small radio. It's not very big, but it does allow my big mitts to fit in there just fine. The trigger doesn't feel too bad, probably a little bit forward. But I think it'll suit small hands just no problem at all. A couple of AA's on the bottom, but it does have that annoying little screw you got to remove to put the AA's in. Yeah, that's really the only thing with it. The styling of it, if this looks familiar to you, that is because it's kind of a copy of the Futaba 4PM. You can see Futaba's got that little switch on the handle. They've got one there as well. They got the little antenna sticking up. They got that as well. So it's very much styled, I think, after the Futaba 4PM. But of course, this is a very basic radio. The wheel doesn't feel too bad, actually. I've had radios that actually probably have worse feeling wheels than this. It does have a foam, a rather firm foam little surrounding on the wheel, which is not too bad. Trigger feels well weighted. The little button here is fake, that doesn't do anything. If you're wondering about this sticker, this is one of those cars where if you turn it on and you've got the trigger pulled or something like that, that's going to be your neutral point of your throttle now. So as soon as you let go of the trigger, the car's going to take off. Likewise, if you have the wheel turned and you turn the car on and everything initiates, the minute you let go of the wheels are going to kink to one side. So just bear that in mind. The warning is basically just telling you not to touch anything on the radio when you're turning the car on. Leave it, wait for everything to initiate, and then of course you can start using it. You've got a little trim button over here, and you've got, I think that's a bind button. It says FN on it, but I presume that that's a bind button. I should have probably read the instructions on that one. And then of course you've got your on-off switch here with a little LED indicator, but this on-off switch, if the camera will pick up the writing, you can see it says off, then 70%, then 100%. So when you slide it forward once, you're at 70%, slide it forward again, you're at 100% power, and then you need to slide it back all the way to turn it off. And that's essentially your on and off switch. Got a little loop here as well for a lanyard, which is something that you don't see on some of these cheaper radios very often. And aside from that, that's it. No collapsible antennas, no fancy screens, or any weird dials or anything like that. It's pretty straightforward. Right, so moving on to the main event, here is the car in all its little glory. I actually don't mind the color scheme on this. It doesn't look too bad, and as far as I know, I think it only comes in the one color. You can see the LED light bar on the front there. You got your aluminium shocks. Well, most of them are alloy. There are some, the bodies are plastic. And yeah, that's the underside just there. You can see the lip that they used to hold the body in place. This is obviously a borrowed design from a company that I won't mention in this video so I don't get myself into trouble, but I'm pretty sure all of you know who does that with some of their bodies. So the body pins actually come with these little pull tabs, which I think are kind of cool, and might even help you find them if they fall off somewhere. The body itself, you kind of need to widen the holes on the body posts because they're a little bit tight. So I might do that before I actually run it. And this actually has a protective film on it. So you know, like when you freshly paint a body, you need to peel away that film to get the full shine of the paint scheme and everything else. But aside from that, it's a standard sort of body. There's nothing too special about it. That's pretty much it. So the truck underneath, this is what we're here for. This is what we want to see. That is what it looks like. We've got our receiver up the top here, our ESC motor with a heat sink and a fan. And then we've got a very unique looking battery back here. It's like a squared off battery. It's designed to basically just fit in this tray like so. You got a little twist tab, this comes up, and that is the battery there. As you can see, it comes with the Dean's plug. They do supply that obviously on the ESC as well. Underneath, really tiny writing. I don't know if the camera will pick this up at all, but we'll try our best to see if I can actually spot it for you. So it's 11.1 volt and it's a 1050 milliamp hour battery. That is what comes with this car. But of course, you don't have to use this battery. I mean, you can use other batteries. There is room in here for you to put other batteries. Your only sort of problem is going to be the height. You can't go too big because there is no height adjustment here, unless of course you start modifying things. And as you can see, this has got like that honeycomb design. So you can't really put like Velcro stuck in there or anything. It's going to be a bit hard to get other batteries in here, but I'm pretty sure we can find some alternatives that we can use so you don't have to use just this style of battery. Aside from that, you've got a stubby little antenna over here. You got your wire that runs through to the LED lights just there. You got adjustable steering links. Sorry, I almost forgot what they were. Got adjustable steering links on the front, and yeah, you've actually got, I think I saw, yeah, here. So you've got what I believe is an alloy hinge pin brace on the front here, and then an alloy hinge pin brace on the back. And this shock right here, you can see by its lovely shiny presence and, you know, all over the shock tower. There's oil pretty much everywhere. This is the one that's leaked, whilst the other ones, you know, they actually came out all right. So I'll just have to put a little bit of oil in there, clean that up, and it should be good to go. It does have an alloy center drive shaft, which I think is a really cool thing, because a lot of these sort of smaller cars sometimes come with plastic drive shafts. Speaking of drive shafts, have a look at this. You got CVDs on both front and rear, and look how beefy these things are. It actually gets thicker as it goes outwards here. So I'm really hoping that you know, these hold up reasonably well. We've also got 12mm hexes on this. So 12mm hexes means that you now have a few other options for tires as well. You can run you know, 10 scale buggy tires on here. You can even run on-road tires from, you know, 10 scale on-roads if you want to do like speed runs and convert this into something else. The body posts are non-adjustable, although the front ones are not. These aren't adjustable as far as I can tell, but you do have some adjustment on the back. So maybe, can we, I was gonna say, could we get the rear body posts on the front, but it looks like it has different shock towers, so it's not gonna happen that way, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the way it is. The front bumper looks like it's gonna be able to take a little bit of abuse, which is nice. And the chassis and everything, like the plastics actually feel really good. Like I'm genuinely impressed by the quality of the plastic that they've used here. It's really nice. You know, even though this, you know, the battery design and tray is a little bit unique and can kind of create a bit of restrictions on what size batteries you can run and all that sort of thing, the plastic and build quality of this actually feels really solid. So I'm pretty impressed. The only thing is, of course, they've got Phillips heads everywhere. There's no hex hardware anywhere to be seen. But you know, the car, especially the front suspension, the back is missing. You know, one shock doesn't have oil in it. But overall, I really don't have too much to criticize here. I think this is a really cool little machine. The fact that it actually comes with a 3S battery I think is pretty good as well, because most of these cars, you know, they'll say it's 3S compatible, but they'll only throw in a 2S battery, and then you got to get the 3S battery yourself. So that's not too bad at all. I think overall this is pretty good. Comes pretty well featured. And with that, we have come to the end of yet another unboxing. This one is for the BEZGAR HP161S, little 116 four-wheel drive brushless monster truck. Hopefully you guys got something out of it, and if you did, be sure to hit that like button before you go. Don't forget to check out the video description down below. I'll have a link in there to the truck, where of course you can go and check out a little bit more info on it, check out pricing and all that good stuff. And of course, you'll get a discount as well if you purchase through that link. That is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be speaking to you all next time. So I figured out what that little button on the back of the radio is for. It's not a bind button or anything. It's actually to turn the lights on and off, which is a really cool feature. Now the wheelie bar's already been mounted up, as you can see here. And there's literally only 4 screws you need to put on. There's 2 down the bottom, 1 there, and 1 here. You probably need to take off the wheels just to give you good access to those screws. And then there are 2 screws that are already mounted up on the bumper. You need to remove those and then just install them straight back in there. They do give you 4 screws in the packet, so 2 for the bottom and 2 for the top, but they're actually the same size as the ones that were already on the bumper, so I just reused the same ones and kept these little guys as spare. And that's it. She's all ready to go. You can see there, plenty of power. And that's just with the battery the way that it came out of the box. I haven't charged it or anything like that. And for those of you who might be curious why the shock leaked, that's the shock there. You might see that actually moves around. So it just hasn't been done upright. I've got to fix that, and yeah, hopefully it won't leak on me again. So that's it, ready to go. Stay tuned. Lots more to come on this little guy.